We are very proud to announce UMP Trading is an official partner with a proven profit track record.
Yeah, if you want great returns on your investments, be sure to check out UMP Trading.
Hello, welcome back to everyone that's tuned into our channel. Here we are, Braden and I, at the American Ultra Stock, bringing to you guys the Stock Watch, the show that brings you guys the review of the weekend of soccer that we had and analyze the players whose stocks went up or down based or not on their performance. Braden, just straight off the bat, who caught your eye and got the stock up this weekend?
Yeah, so my first player whose stock went up this weekend is going to be Ricardo Pepi, because he had one of the most iconic USA versus Mexico moments in recent memory when he refused to give the penalty to Chucky Lozano late in the PSV's 4-0 win and cruelly disposed of it. Just a great penalty, and scoring his first Eredivisie goal. Hopefully many more to come. It's going to give him confidence ahead of the Champions League tie against Arsenal this week, and more importantly, it ruined Lozano's moment on his first game back at the club after signing from Napoli. The Mexican fans weren't happy about it, but all I can say to them is cry about it. But yeah, huge game for Pepi.
All right, yeah, that was nice to see. Well, I'll have more things to say about Pepi later on in the video, but I'm picking Leonard Maloney as a player whose stock went up. To be fair, he couldn't really go down after the beginning of the season that he had, but he actually had a good game. Still not that many touches during the game, which is not nice to see, but I just need to understand that's the way the Heidenheim are going to play. They're obviously not going to be possession-based, and I think that this time he was a lot better positioning himself. There are a lot of aspects that don't go into stats, for example, how they cover up space, and that space that they're covering marks one or two players that won't get the ball, so it keeps the team out of the danger zone. And I think that Maloney did that really well. And yeah, they got 11th place. That honestly is really respectable. I think it's a stock up, especially after Tesman didn't really impress during the camp. So I think that he's up there for contention. It would be nice to see him get a call up. Who did not impress you, Braden, and gets a stock down?
Yeah, so my first player whose stock went down this week is going to be Joe Scally. Just honestly a nightmare game for him against newly promoted Darmstadt, conceding 3 goals in the first half before getting subbed off at halftime. And what makes it even worse is after he was subbed off, Gladbach came back and actually got a 3-3 draw in the second half with Pefok scoring his first goal for the club. So a nice moment for Pefok, but a horrible game for Scally. And with the fullback depth that they have, it's very likely that we could even see him getting benched permanently, like we saw last season. So just unfortunate for him. I mean, he's already on the bench for the national team. We don't want to see him on the bench for the club too.
Yeah, I agree. It's specifically bad when your team starts doing better when you're off the pitch, and getting subbed at halftime, that's just never a good thing to happen. But for me, I'm picking a player that didn't do anything wrong. Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think that his stock goes down a little bit based on how well Scales was a really good player last season as well. But Phillips making his debut for Celtic and playing really well as a player who has baggage, from experience with Liverpool. Granted, it wasn't huge experience or anything, and getting a lot of praise out of the manager and the fans alike. Obviously, we know that British tax is a real thing that happens over there, and how it would be better for Celtic to sell a player and give minutes, therefore, for an English player and sell it to a Prem club in the future. So I don't know if he should be worried about that, but I think that the fact that his absence is not being missed that much, it brings the stock a little bit down. Now, who else impressed you this weekend, Braden?
Yeah, so my second player whose stock went up is going to be Weston McKennie. Coming off one of the best games I've ever seen for him for the USMNT against Oman. I mean, I think he should have been man of the match. Balogun got it, but I think it was a little undeserved. But he kept up his form this weekend with a 3-1 win over Lazio, getting an assist of Vlahovic, and just looking really, really good in the right wing-back role, which is interesting because obviously that's not his preferred position. It's a little unfortunate for Weah because obviously his play time is going to start to decrease as McKennie continues to play well. But regardless, it's good to see McKennie bounce back after a really bad season last year. I think it's fair to say a horrible loan at Leeds. And he looks to have reasserted himself into the Juventus team despite not being in the plans previously this summer.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that he's actually a lot fitter. We gave a lot of Arjun particularly gave him a lot of slack for his weight issues, but he looks slim. Honestly, it's really nice to see. Now, a player whose stock went up, in my opinion, is Maurice Malone. I think that it's nice getting his first go for Basel. Obviously, they're not having a good season for the size of the club. They're a giant of a club in Switzerland, but they're not having a good season. Again, it's a cup competition, but the fact that he got his first start as well in the league, and now he seems to be to be involved for the next game in the league as well against FC Lucerne. It's nice. I think it's going to be a difficult season for Basel, but their attack was struggling. He's getting more minutes now. That's good from a simply Malone perspective. So I think his stock goes up because he got off the clock for them. Now, who didn't impress you and gets the stock down next, Braden?
Yeah, so this next one isn't really about not impressing. I think he actually played pretty well, but it's about the USMNT perspective, and it's got to be Noel Buck. I mean, last weekend during international break, he got the call up to England U19s, wore the England jersey to a Revolution game, which sparked some outrage from USA fans, and rightly so, I think. And in the camp, what I didn't want to happen happens. I mean, he played well against Germany, almost scored, and then in their second game against Switzerland actually did score. So his England stock went up, so fair play to him. He played well, he looked like he belonged, which it is nice to see an MLS player looking like they belong in the England youth setup, you know. Showing that our league has definitely progressed, because this would have been unheard of a couple of years ago. But as far as the USA is concerned, it would be a big loss to see him go, especially to England, who a lot of our fans consider as one of our biggest rivals behind Mexico. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning to see him playing too well, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, that shot of him wearing an England jersey, I mean, that's despicable right there. I don't think there's a way back for him. And next, for a player whose stock went down, again, this guy didn't really do anything wrong. I liked it, actually. You mentioned him already, Ricardo Pepi. I think that the only fact that I'm putting this out there is because there were some PSV fans that were pretty outraged with the decision. The majority were Mexicans in the comments going crazy, but there were a lot of fans. They even booed him live when he took the penalty. So I think it's a little bit of controversy right there, but it's necessary. He has to take, and the fact that he was eager to score for them and they booed him, I mean, I don't really understand what that's all about. But yeah, I picked him next. Now, who's your final player that impressed you this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for Pepe, it would have been a great moment for Lozano to score on his first game back. You can't deny that, but you can't get mad at Pepe for it. I mean, it wasn't his decision. The captain, Romaglio, gave him the ball, and the coach clearly didn't object to it, or the ball would have gone to Lozano. So I don't understand why Pepe's getting the criticism here. But anyways, my final player whose stock went up is my boy Tyler Binden. The center back came back from concussion on Saturday for Reading and immediately got them back to winning ways with a shock 2-1 win over promotion favorites Bolton. Reading are still yet to lose with Binden. They've played 4 games with him, all 4 wins, only 1 goal conceded. And without him this season, 0 wins, 1 draw in the cup where they lost on penalties, and then 4 losses in the league. So winless without him, undefeated with him. I mean, clearly he's one of their most important players. As an 18-year-old American, getting thrown straight into League One, a very physical and competitive league in England, he's surprising everyone, and it makes me extremely happy to see it. And he's going to be absolutely crucial for our setup in the future.
Absolutely. It would be nice to see him getting some recognition in the future, because most of our fan base, again, doesn't really know who he is, and he's playing at a higher level, not only individually, but in the system, in a more competitive league than all of our other U20 prospects, in my opinion. So yeah, that's a great pick. I'm going for a center back as well for the last one, John Brooks. I watched the game. He was really impressive, in my opinion. Not a flashy game where he scored or anything, but I think he was really, really calm on the ball. And the one criticism I had for him, even when he did score, was he was making a lot of passing errors, missing some passes that are easy, and being too diagonal with his passes where he can just pass sideways or pass right in front of him, more vertical. And this time around, he was really good with his passing. I think that was really nice to see. Seems really comfortable there in his team, Hoffenheim. I think they will have a good season, better season than I thought they would. So yeah, I'm picking him. But I don't know if his stock goes up or not for USMT related purposes. I think that it's nice that he's getting these performances. It will be eventually undeniable that he needs a chance, especially with Team Ream's form going a little bit down. I think he can be the new voice of experience in that back line.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting. I don't think he'll get a call up just with Greg still at manager. I mean, we know Greg is absolutely horrible at getting back from, mishaps with the players we've seen with Gio. But my last player whose stock went down is going to be Sam Vines, and I'm absolutely fucking devastated for him. I mean, he got denied the opportunity of a lifetime to play in the Champions League for his club after he helped them qualify for the first time in over 60 years. He would have played against Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk. I mean, absolute giants of Europe. I mean, it would have been an incredible opportunity for him. And we know European competitions are these young players' chances to put themselves on the map, maybe earn themselves a move to a bigger club. And he's just getting that taken away from him because of an administrative error. It's not even because of his injury that he picked up. That's what I thought it would be at first. It's not because the manager didn't want him there. It's because they made a mistake. So it's just absolutely devastating for him, and I can't even express with words how mad I am at the club and the Champions League for not getting this fixed. But I mean, the bright side is he will be back if they make the knockout stages. So they have an opportunity to resubmit their squad. But given their group, I mean, I don't think it's likely. They're having to go against Barcelona, Porto. I don't think they'll get out. Hopefully they'll make it into the Europa League and he can play there against some bigger clubs, but this would have been absolutely huge for him.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, especially when he was so crucial for them to qualify there for the first time in a billion years. I mean, honestly, it is heartbreaking. Dude, I forgot who's my last pick.
Sorry, I'm muted. Musa.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right, now the next player that I'm picking, I love this guy. I think he has one of our highest ceilings, honestly. Musa. I'm picking him because, well, I could pick anyone from Milan. They had a horrible match, losing 5-1 at the Derby della Madonnina. It's ridiculous, awful, no words. But the fact that he didn't get some minutes out, even in garbage time, they could have just thrown him out there. I think that would have been nice to just ease him into the squad. He wouldn't have gotten criticized anyways, and I think he had nothing to lose if he plays that game, because if he plays badly, the entire team's playing bad. If he does well, that's Italian fans are very reactionary. They would have said, "Oh, come on, he should have started." So I mean, it's sad, but I also, the one thing that makes me pick this stock down is the fact that McKennie's form has gone up so much, because I do feel that, and I've never said this, even though Musa is such a good player, he's so young. I feel that in the future, like we mentioned before, the three-man workhorse midfield is not going to get us anywhere. And if we were to punch above our weight, I think a double pivot of Adams and McKennie would be best. So the fact that McKennie's back on his form, got his stuff together, seems fit, in my opinion, personally. And I think maybe if Greg does attempt to put Gio at the 10, it hinders Musa's chances of starting for the USMNT. So it's not a knock on him, not trying to flame him here, but it's just my opinion that if McKennie's fit and playing like he is, Musa ultimately gets a stock down. All right, what about the picks for the week? Who do you think is going to be on your stock watch to perform well, and who's your sleeper pick as well?
Yeah, so my player to watch this week is going to be Gio Reyna. He's in the Dortmund squad finally again. He's fully fit against PSG in the Champions League. Will he be used? We'll see. Usually he comes off the bench for them, which I think is actually a good thing. I mean, we saw he's had a lot of injury problems in the past, and I think Dortmund finally figured out they need to take it slow with him, play him gradually. I mean, last season towards the end of the year, he was doing very well off the bench for them in limited minutes, and then as soon as the summer came around, he played 2 games in a row, started both games for the US, and immediately got injured again. So you got to take it slow with Gio, ease him back into action very slowly. So we'll see if he plays, but if he does, I think he could make a real impact for Dortmund. They haven't had the best start to the season, and I think he would be crucial for them if they are to pick up a result against PSG. And then for my player to watch, my sleeper pick, I'm going to pick Paxton Aronson. He'll be getting his first taste of European football on Thursday against Aberdeen, who actually have another American cam, Dante Polvara. So we'll see if they play off against each other. But yeah, I mean, it's always a huge moment. Like I said, the European competitions are huge for young players to put themselves on the map. So I think he can be really big for Frankfurt in their group. I mean, he's been one of their best players off the bench, just changing the game completely when he comes on. And against a slightly weaker opponent, I mean, we've seen Scottish opponents aren't the strongest. So I think if he does feature in this one, he could have a big game.
I can't believe you chose Paxton Harrison just when I thought I was going underground with this pick. But anyways, my player to watch this week is going to be Serginho Dest. I think he's picking up form, doing really well. And I like how fluid he's allowed to be in the attack. I'm the biggest Serginho fanboy out there. Please, anyone who's watching this video, I urge you to watch Serginho this week, just so you guys see how good he is. Even defensively, he's improving a lot. Or just at a lower level and showing it at the level that he should. And for my sleeper pick, it was Paxton as well for the exact same reasons. And it's a great opportunity for him to get minutes. And I mean, I can try to think of someone else. I'll throw Buzio in there because he got a lot of hype out of not Vanoli himself, but Giuntoli, the assistant for Venezia. Had to give the interview again because our coach again got a red card. It's really nice how Vanoli manages to get a red card every game. And he was really impressed with Buzio's attitude towards the end of the game, and it was nice to see it as well. I don't think that on the ball he was anything out of this world, but it was nice that he got a start because Bjarkason got an injury. You never like to see gay players get injured, but he got an injury while away with Iceland, and Buzio got the start. Did well, impressed the staff enough, so I'll pick him. I think he is on the up. For all the criticism I've given Buzio, he's on the up, and the team, Venezia, is on the up as well, so I'll pick him. I'll definitely watch him because I have to. But yeah, that's our picks for the week. Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed the show. What do you think of our takes on the players whose stocks went up or down in your picks as well? Please comment any new shows that you would like us to do. We are always welcoming any new ideas and constructive criticism. Thank you. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. We'll see you next time.